Yeah, but you know, it's good quality and it'll last. It just might get a bit scratched up in his room, that's all.
I don't know, it's probably the wrong timing to spend that sort of money on furniture. I'll just keep looking.
Alright, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. We are going to chat in a second. I just need my coffee first. Alright, so what am I drinking this week? So this is a local roastery slash espresso bar. Their name is Folk. This is their seasonal blend, which is Colombian and Brazil for you coffee nerds out there. I really like these guys, so whenever I'm over the bridge, I always grab a kilo. Check them out if you're local or online. Nice with apple too. Alright, welcome to this week's video. I have just got back from Christchurch, so I was away for the weekend. So this is quite an epic gig, a private gig with what I would consider to be some of the most elite musicians that this country has to offer, in my humble opinion. So seriously, it was an incredible lineup. So first up we had Tiki Tane, who is an incredible solo artist here in New Zealand, but he's also had an amazing tenure with Salmonella Dub. And then we had Fran and Lawton Kora from the band Kora, an amazing band. One of my favourite songs was written by this band. And Mr. Joel Shadbolt, so the lead singer and guitarist for LAB, who have been making huge waves here in New Zealand over the last sort of 5 or 6 years or so. So these guys have collectively contributed an insane amount to the New Zealand music scene over the last 25 years. So for me to jump in with them and get the opportunity to play with them at any time is just such an honour and a privilege, and I'm really, really grateful for it. So I've done this private gig before with this crew. It's an insane gig. It's hard to put into words. I will link the place that we played down below. You should check it out. But so much fun, great people, great money, and as I say, a total honour to be a part of it. And here's the setup that was waiting for me once I got to Christchurch. A 60s Ludwig and Supraphonic snare. Now, as a quick side note, I want to give you a book recommendation that I happened to knock out over the 3 days that we were away. As some of you already know, I'm a keen runner and a keen reader, so I was more than happy to lose hours to a book about someone who basically pioneered ultra marathon running. The book is incredibly easy to read, it's super visceral and very inspiring, so check it out. Alright, so before I kick into the main topic of this week's video, what else is happening? Well, this weekend I'm playing up in Auckland for something that's just as fun as what I did in Christchurch, but completely different. So it's a drum slash DJ duo that I do with a friend of mine for corporate events as well. So the premise is simple. He rips it on the decks, plays bangers, and then rips saxophone over top. And then I'm on the kit. I have a feed from him from the decks, and I just rip over top of him on the kit. So no rehearsals. It's all about the jam, and we have a hell of a time. And then apart from that, I'm within the final 4 weeks before I head off to the UK and Europe with the amazing Natashas Bedingfield. So what this basically means for me is that I'm now well within my pre-tour prep mode. I take this shit pretty seriously and don't take it for granted, so pretty much do everything I can to be as physically and mentally prepared as possible. And in short, that pretty much just means that I'm running a tighter daily exercise schedule. So this is made up of a 15-minute mobility routine, 100 push-ups, 100 bodyweight squats, 100 dips, and a 10k run. I'm on about day 10 of doing it now, and everything feels great. Now, the benefit of doing the 10k run is that it means that I can listen to Natashas' current live set each and every time I hit the road. It's a killer set, the shows are going to be amazing, but I'll keep you posted on that. Now, on to this week's topic. Optics is everything. So I can only ever show you my perspective on things, nothing more. Do I have all the answers? No. Do I have a certain set of answers that you may benefit from? Absolutely. But like with anything, take it or leave it. My belief is pretty simple. There is not one way, but there is one path. Meaning, what I'm about to share with you is just one way in which you can approach things. But the second you take that step, the path that you are on, that is it. That is your path. You can and you do make micro decisions all day, every day that can change the path in which you take. But it's important to keep in mind that the second you take a step, that is the path. There's no sort of sliding doors scenario here. No alternative reality. No could have beens. You're walking it currently. You are living it. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't shape your future accordingly to match your desires. Quite the opposite, actually. You can 100% determine and dictate what happens in your life through the decisions you make. This is exactly how I live my life. There are multiple ways through life, but only one path we take the second we take that step. It's the decisions that I make on the daily that determine the way in which I move through the world. And then at that point, all I can ever do is step forward on my path and watch the results of those decisions take shape. So why am I talking about this? Well, honestly, it's just simply a reminder that you are in control. It's the basic idea that opportunity is nothing more than a byproduct of the work that's been done. Yes, there's one path, but that path is determined by all the different ways in which you choose to walk it. So if you do the work here, here, and here, that will determine the path here. But if you choose to not do the work here, here, and here, that will also determine the path here. Different outcomes, but one path, and all on your terms. So 3 things to consider here. 1, optics is everything. How people see you is how they will determine you. 2, consider how you position yourself. What you share is what you'll be known for. Number 3, play the part, and over time, you will become the part. So that just means simply head towards what you want with conviction, and over time, you will become that. If you want to be a pro down the track, then start living it now. So these are all kind of saying similar things, but what they basically mean is people will believe what you show them, and what you say you are, you will become. So I put this post up last week. What I'm saying here is a couple of things. Your social media profiles are a viewing window to your career, past, present, and future. Understand where you want to go so that you can curate your pages accordingly. Be genuine, as that's the most sustainable approach, but be intentional. Consider what you post. This is important stuff. It's basic stuff, yes, but honestly, most people don't do this properly. Look at it like this. If you only post chops, I'd think you probably couldn't hold down a pocket gig. Now, if you only posted pocket, I'd think that you probably couldn't hold down a gig that required a little bit more technical proficiency. If you only posted educational content, I'd think you probably couldn't hold down a high-profile gig. And then if you didn't post any educational content, I'd probably think that you don't teach. And look, here's the big one, here's the kicker. If you don't post at all, I'd honestly think that you're not an active working drummer. What you show me or what you don't show me, I will believe. Now, none of this may be true, I totally get that. You may be more than capable in all of the above and more. But guess what? Without seeing it firsthand, how am I to know? And guess what else? We live in a world where DMing someone, asking them if they're able to do something that their social media profile doesn't show them, is honestly a little bit too much effort. So instead, I'd probably just keep scrolling until I found someone that seemed, at face value, a little bit more appropriate for what I was after. Meaning your socials are a business card. So what you choose to show people is what they will associate with you. So take a screenshot from my Instagram, for example. Even within that one screenshot, it lays it out really clearly and really concisely. You can quickly see what I offer. Live, studio, lessons, clinics, artists that I've played with, if you hit the button under my profile. Some of the artists that I've recorded with, once again, in the button under my profile. Courses I sell, also in a button. Links to Mastermind Drummer, and then my drum gear website where I sell gear. And a couple of pinned videos that I deem noteworthy. So my tuning video, my Primus audition, and my single kick video. Within a few posts on Instagram, you're always going to see me playing some pocket, some chops and facility, some education, some thoughts and opinions, some of the gear I sell. Remember, no guesswork. I want to dive a little bit more into this next week, optics and how you position yourself. But at the very least, today, just understand that what you post is how people will perceive you. So, to wrap all that up, think about your goals, think about where you want to go in your career on the kit, and then simply work your way back. Share elements of your playing that you want to be known and hired for. Be a customer to your page. Make it easy. Take out the guesswork. You want to be a professional, right? Cool. Then present yourself like one. Play the part. Don't just wait for it. Don't forget, optics is everything. All right, so what am I doing now? Well, I'm actually putting on a fresh set of heads for what is my first custom snare that I ever got. So this is a 14 by 6.5 10 ply spotted gum from Evetts Drums in Australia. I got this maybe, 12 to 15 years ago. And when Steve and I were coming up with this, I was modeling the finish off my favorite sort of Sonor drums over the years. This veneer is called Groovio, and we chose a color that I like to call Exploding Canary. So he had never done a finish that's sort of this explosive at the time. So it was all a little bit of experimentation. But Steve makes stunning custom drums, all using Australian hardwoods. And yeah, and I ended up giving this to my son for his 16th birthday. Now, I've since taken it back because he's in university and it's safer with me than him. But yeah, I'm going to chuck some fresh heads on it. It's been a while. I just got some off Remo. So what are we going to put on? Let's have a look. So I'm just going for old reliable. First up, we have an Ambassador Hazy for the resonance side. And then I'm doing my trusty controlled sound for the batter side. Thanks for watching. I'm going to put these heads on the snare and have a bit of a jam. I will see you next week. Alright, I just had to turn the camera back on. How fucking good does that snare sound? Amazing. Shout outs to Steve at Evetts. Check them out online. Australian hardwoods, all custom. I'll see you guys later.